Summer Moon Utah Wells went missing from her home in Rogersville, Tennessee, on the evening of June 12, 2021. A small child with a bright smile and a curiosity about the world, Summer lived with her family in a quiet neighborhood, surrounded by the woods and rolling hills typical of this corner of Tennessee. Like any child, she loved to play in the yard, to explore under the watchful eyes of her parents, and to feel the safety that comes with a familiar home. But that evening, the eyes were off Summer, the element of safety vanished, and with it, Summer disappeared.
Bring them
The events of that day started like any other. Summer's father, Don, at work miles away from home, while Summer's mother and grandmother, both named Candace, ran errands and did household chores and gardening. Summer and her brothers play on their property. The hours passed with the usual quiet of a summer evening, but as the sun began to dip below the horizon, a sudden realization struck. Summer was no longer in the yard. She was nowhere to be found. Panic quickly replaced the calm, and the search began almost immediately. Her parents called for her, ran through the yard, and checked every room in the house. When no answer came, they called the authorities, and what started as a frantic family search quickly escalated into a full scale missing child investigation. From the earliest moments, law enforcement treated the disappearance with the urgency it demanded. Search teams fanned out into the surrounding woods, combing through dense underbrush, streams, and hillsides. The area was challenging, heavily wooded, with uneven terrain and countless hiding spots where a small child could vanish in moments. Authorities also used drones and canine units, hoping that a trained scent dog might catch the trail of Summer's movements. Helicopters flew overhead, lights cutting through the night, while community members joined in, calling her name and holding out hope that she might be found. As days passed, several theories emerged about what could have happened. One of the earliest ideas was that Summer may have wandered off on her own. In a neighborhood so close to the woods, the temptation for a child to explore can be powerful. A chase after a butterfly, a curious glance at a bird, or a simple desire to venture into the trees could have led her far from view. While this scenario was terrifying, it remained one of the possibilities considered by both investigators and concerned citizens alike. Another theory that quickly gained attention was abduction. The suddenness of Summer's disappearance and the fact that she vanished from a seemingly safe yard suggested that someone could have taken her. The thought of a stranger approaching and removing a small child strikes fear into every parent. Law enforcement immediately investigated this possibility, interviewing neighbors, checking traffic patterns, and reviewing security camera footage in the area. Yet no concrete evidence of a stranger's involvement surfaced. No vehicle was reported in the neighborhood at unusual hours. No suspicious individuals were seen near the home, and no ransom or threats were received. Still, the fear of abduction lingered, a shadow over a community desperate for answers. The involvement of someone known to Summer was also a concern. Statistically, children are far more likely to be taken by someone familiar than by a complete stranger. Investigators considered this possibility carefully, questioning family members, close friends, and acquaintances. They checked alibis, monitored communications, and sought any hint that Summer might have been lured or coerced by someone she trusted. Again, no concrete evidence has ever confirmed this scenario, but it remains a line of inquiry that law enforcement cannot ignore. The natural environment itself was another source of concern. Rogersville. Surrounding woods are beautiful, yet they can be dangerous for a child. Streams, ravines, and uneven terrain can lead to accidents, and a young child alone in such an environment is at serious risk. Authorities considered the possibility that Summer had become lost or injured while wandering, which would explain why no one could locate her. Volunteers and search teams spent countless hours covering these areas, but despite the intensive effort, no trace was found. Human trafficking was also a fear that some raised, given the sudden and unexplained nature of the disappearance. While there was no evidence to support this grim scenario in Summers' case, the idea reflects a harsh reality. Law enforcement often considers such possibilities to ensure that no potential lead is ignored, even if the chances are statistically small. It is a reminder of the dangers children can face in a world where trust and innocence are sometimes exploited. Complicating the investigation were conflicting reports and timelines. Witness statements, while helpful, sometimes diverged as memories of a sudden traumatic event can be unreliable. Even small inconsistencies could delay the search or misdirect resources. Authorities had to carefully evaluate every tip, every potential sighting, and every lead to distinguish between fact and misconception. Each report was a thread, potentially leading to Summer, but requiring careful unraveling to understand its significance. As the days turned into weeks, the search expanded. Volunteers, local organizations, and law enforcement continued tirelessly. Social media amplified the story, spreading awareness far beyond, and pleas for information reached people hundreds of miles away. The family, meanwhile, endured the unimaginable, the endless anxiety, the sleepless nights, and the uncertainty that comes from not knowing whether their child was safe or in danger. Over time, various leads emerged, some more promising than others. Sightings of a child matching Summer's description in neighboring towns prompted searches, but none yielded confirmation. Reports of suspicious vehicles or persons were investigated, often leading to dead ends. The passage of time made the case even more difficult, as the trail of a young child can disappear almost instantly in a natural environment. Yet each lead, each report, each potential clue kept the investigation alive and kept the hope that Summer might be found alive in the hearts of her family and the community. One enduring aspect of the case is the attention it has received nationwide. Media coverage, podcasts, and online discussions have kept Summer's story in the public eye. The broader awareness has both helped and hindered the investigation. Tips pour in daily, some credible, others mistaken, but all reflecting the deep concern and empathy of people far beyond Tennessee. The outpouring of support has been a lifeline for her family, a reminder that Summer's absence has touched more lives than anyone could have imagined. Despite the efforts, the reality remains that no one knows for certain what happened to Summer Wells. The theories, wandering off, abduction, accidental injury, involvement of someone known, or even human trafficking, are all possibilities, each carrying its own weight of fear and grief. But the truth remains elusive, hidden somewhere in the woods, the community, or perhaps in circumstances that will never be fully understood without answers. Summer's disappearance is not just a story of a missing child. It is a story of a community shaken, of parents grappling with unimaginable fear, of volunteers working tirelessly, and of a society forced to confront the vulnerability of its youngest members. It is a reminder of the fragility of life, the unpredictability of events, and the enduring hope that justice, closure, and understanding can one day prevail. Through the years, Summer's name has remained a call to action, a plea for vigilance, and a symbol of both loss and hope. The woods of Johnson City may hold answers, and the people who love her will continue to search, speak out, and remember. Until the day the truth is revealed, Summer Wells remains not just a missing child, but a presence that continues to stir empathy, awareness, and an unwavering desire to find her and bring her home. Thank you for watching my coverage of this case. If you have any information, please contact the detectives assigned. If you enjoyed my coverage, please subscribe. Thank you for your time, stay safe, and look out for one another. Bye.